Here we go. Okay. There's a few more people just joining us. I need to just get them to become panelists. Okay, welcome everybody to Getting Into Your Flow in Life with Divine Healing. I'm Nicolas David at the Centre for Conscious Ascension. So I'd like to welcome you to this free healing webinar. These are a little different each time we do them. And it all depends on what you'd like from this, okay? So I'd invite anyone who feels up to it to actually at least switch on your microphone, which is on the bottom left. And if you're really brave, switch on your camera. And just let me know, we've got to set intention here. Just let me know why you've come, what's your name, where you're from, and why you've come and what your intention for this webinar is. Because if I get enough of you doing it, then it sort of sets the energy as a group. And then we can actually I can guide the flow of the webinar accordingly. So that's purely optional, and so your camera button is the bottom left, just one icon in. And if you want to, you can just message me there's a chat as well at the bottom. There's a little balloon. Just send me a chat message, because then I can just read your chat message out. That's the other way. Otherwise, I'm sort of speaking to the void here a little bit. So does anyone like to start? And Marilyn, do you want to switch your camera on? Because you know me pretty well.
Where's the button for the camera?
Just to the right of the microphone.
Right of the microphone.
Yeah, it's a little movie camera. Yeah, I'll give you a hand. Actually, let me just. I got to allow you to switch the video on here. Try now.
Start my video. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Nice to see you. How are you?
Hi. Okay. Just roll out of bed. 4:30 in the morning here. I'm in Darwin.
Yes, sure.
But I will participate. It's good to join because I just want to connect back with you because it's been a while. It's been a very long time and a lot has happened, but I won't go into that on your webinar, except that I have been through quite a major surgery and I've just returned back to work. So I think any healing, anything I could get would be great. I'm doing fine, but I think I just need to continue to get stronger and in balance, and could make use out of a connection with you and hearing what you have to say and just being here. That's why I've got up at 4:30, well, 4:15, and here I am. So hello. So that's why I look a little disheveled. But anyway, hello, Nicolas.
I appreciate your dedication to the cause, Marilyn, coming in from Australia. So, okay. So Liliana says here she needs some physical healing. I can unmute your microphone, Liliana, if you want, and then if you just want to sort of connect with me a little bit there, just sort of let me know where you're from and what you need from this, because it builds the energy a bit more. Your microphone's on now if you want to speak.
Oh, you want me to talk what I need?
Yeah, just tell us where you are and what brought you here and what you need from this webinar. That sort of sets the energy.
Okay. Physically, I'm in Darwin, Australia. And
no, I mean Liliana, Marilyn.
Sorry.
Yeah, so if you just stay there, Marilyn.
I'll stay here and be quiet. Okay.
Okay. So it says, Liliana, you've got the microphone on. Is there no? Why don't you just try and speak and just see if it comes through, or don't you have a physical microphone there? Doesn't sound like it. Okay. So Liliana just said she needs some physical healing. So, okay. Does anyone else want to share why they're here, just so we can get to know you a little bit, even if it's on the chat? Irene, you know me, so do you want to have a little chat?
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
Hi,
Hiya.
how are you?
Yeah. So what's brought you here again? You've done this before.
Because I'm still in the process of healing myself, so
Yeah.
I would like to know more about divine healing
Yeah.
to see how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a bit of I joined 2 of the webinar before, so I had an introduction.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how these work for emotional abandonment, or I'm not sure about how divine healing work for all the other issues. I mean, subconscious issue and all the other healing issues. I mean, if you cover all of them.
Yeah. It deals with a lot of things. I'll talk about it a bit later. It deals with lots of different things we at a human level have to work with. So I'll get into that in a little while in the presentation. So is there anyone else who wants to share why they're here? Like we had a couple of new people just join us. You're welcome. On the bottom left is your microphone button. If you click on that, you can unmute just to speak, or you can use the chat at the bottom, the little balloon, or if you're really brave, microphone and camera, like Marilyn and Irene, and just introduce yourselves. It sort of sets the energy, really. It's not compulsory, it's just an invitation. Okay, so Marilyn, you continue.
Okay.
Yeah. A little bit more about what you're going to say then. So
So you want me to talk some more?
yeah, a little bit more what you've been through, if you're okay to share that. This is a public video that'll go on YouTube, so just be aware of that for the people who registered but can't actually make it because of the time difference. A little bit more about what you're looking for here, so then that sort of gives me some more focused attention for us to work with.
Okay, well, I've been through heart surgery, open heart surgery, just about 10 weeks ago for a replacement valve.
That's pretty big.
It was pretty big, you know, quite an ordeal. The heart was fine, but not the essential valve, so that's been replaced. I've come through that fine, no serious complications, except for bad pain around my chest and my ribs. They call this costochondritis, which is inflammation of the ligaments that connect the ribs to the sternum. But that's easy now, just because I'm able to do a lot more exercise and put weight on my hands and open up the whole chest. So that's really the only physical thing that I've really dealing with. But that is easing. The more exercise and strength training that I do, the better. You know, just lots of just opening the whole chest and strengthening work. But the healing that I need, really, I've gone back to work. It's a very demanding job, very stressful in terms of the interpersonal, very wearing. My husband's convinced that's what caused all this problem, which is very unusual for him to think that.
Yeah.
You know, like that, where he's very, you know, basic evidence science oriented, but recognizing how the job has worn. So I go back to that. And I'm just trying to make sure I don't get into an overstressed position. I'm not ready to quite leave the job yet because, you know, I've thought hard about it. I'm still there for really important reasons. There is the reasons why I'm there.
Yeah.
And doing my bit. And so it's, you know, mentally, I need to be able to deal with all that happens in a large organization where people, you know, take your energy away, and people have competing agendas, and people have very large egos, and, you know, aren't always out for the greater good. And I'm at a senior position, so everyone's sort of, you know, knifing me in the back for different reasons, very critical, you know, because when at your top, you're criticized a lot, whatever you do. So I deal with this every day. You
sounds
know,
like you've been under a lot of emotional pressure.
a lot of emotional pressure really for about 3.5 years now.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite ready to leave. I will when I'm ready, but it's having that emotional strength.
Yeah.
But like, daily, like not letting that happen, to be really clear and focused in why I'm there, what I'm doing, my purpose, and shedding the light on others, being strong and bringing goodness to everyone else. So that's how I approach it, that if I'm fine and well and, spiritual enough in myself, then that will extend outward and slowly change the organization, or at least the area where I work. And that is really what I do day to day, by keeping to, really high principles, and, have compassion for people and listen and do my best for individuals.
Okay, I think that gives us a good feel, Marilyn. Sounds like you've got to make a choice here. Look after your heart. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's we've been through a lot by the sounds. But
yeah, yeah. I'm feeling good. I had a good day yesterday, and
okay.
It's my 4th day back, so I'm
right
there. So
okay, we got a message from Terry Sawyer. And Terry said here. She says she's new to this whole. We're doing a webinar in a very hard place. She has a daughter, and because of the abuse and no support from the courts and continued abuse, she's here to heal little by little, to gain strength, not to be a victim. To help her 6-year-old daughter through this, to stride through so many changes like no job, losing a home, etc. So she's here to grow, to heal, and to allow our good to shine, to find her higher self. Okay, thanks, Terry. That's really nice sharing there. Okay, so let's get into this. So this is a little blurb that we started with, that drew you guys here. So we all try pretty hard in life, but often feel left behind. I used to feel left behind in life, still do on a bad day. Everyone's getting ahead of me. It seems to take a long time, because I had a lot of abandonment and emotional blocks from my very dysfunctional childhood here. And so this webinar is all about how to become more connected, feel more connected, stable, and secure with the flow of life. So we're going to give you a bit of an idea of how divine healing works first, and then I'm going to give you a practical experience of breaking through some of these abandonment and emotional blocks. Okay. Oh yeah, Sarah said, I have been doing energy work and discovered that I made a vow in a previous life to never be happy again. I wish to heal this now. Okay. All right. So it's a good place to start. If we make vows like that, they go through many lifetimes till we actually break them, those vows. But yeah, if you guys drop off the call, which happens sometimes, just log in again using the same confirmation email registration link. That'll just pop you right back in, okay? So that's the other thing, technically. So what is this divine healing that I'm talking about here? And it's nothing religious or anything like that. It's basically a multi-dimensional healing system. We're in the 3rd dimension. It comes from many different dimensions all the way back to source, whose purpose is to open to grace. And it's come from many different beings, races of beings, and ascended masters and angelics in the higher dimensions. And it's basically a simple, quick, and profoundly powerful and fast, accurate set of healing tools which you can use on yourself or on others if you want to be a practitioner, or just on friends and family. And it basically reconnects you to spirit at all levels. That's for self-empowerment. And if you do enough of it, it gives you the keys to enlightenment, to connect back in consciousness to source, where we come from. And it was designed so we could ascend in consciousness as rapidly as possible. And this came through in 2006. So Almira Ariel Heller used to run the Center for Conscious Ascension with me. And because she'd been looking for a tool along with a couple of other friends of ours, very experienced healers, to really wake people up in a hurry. And she'd been looking for a really powerful tool for a long time, and many people wouldn't teach her what they were doing when she had tried the different modalities. So she came up with this herself with the other two, Roshan and Mary, friends of ours. So basically they channeled this through three of them separately. They channeled different components of the first level of divine healing, level 1, and then they put it all together, and they presented the first workshop in 2006. So this has been around a while, and having used it, I use it daily for many years after I first learnt it, but I do use it maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And I can say that it actually enables you to make your life really happen, to clear that sort of emotional sludgy stuff that just slows us down and we get tired of it after a while. It basically helps you understand and transform the fundamental underlying programming that creates your life in each moment for the better. So you don't have to do Groundhog Day, the same old thing, and it can help you make your dreams come true. And I must say that's actually happening. I went from being an alternative service person, barely making a living, actually being in a lot of debt back then, to getting that all under control and having a best-selling book and running much bigger workshops, reaching a lot more people, which was helping them empower themselves to awaken and get on with their missions of service. That's actually coming true. That's actually happening. And it enables you to open up to the possibilities of developing and fully living the deepest vision of your soul. Not just having the dream, but actually turning it into a reality. It can enable you to heal deeply, completely, and easily things which you thought were never going to go away. It can help you just take them out of your system, out of your ego construct. And it reconnects you to your true essence, the expression of the soul, and helps you tap into your gifts and qualities. And as a result, experience more love, joy, fun, and aliveness, rather than having to do it the hard way, which we all start off with in life. And basically, because you're clearing enough of the ego, it enables more soul energy to come through, more spirit, and that creates more flow, and you become the master of your life. Rather than feeling like a victim of your life, which many of us do initially, you actually take charge, and come into sovereignty. You actually are then consciously are creating the life you do desire. And it's been a miracle for me, considering I just felt the world was really against me when I was 10, 20 years ago, before I started doing this sort of work. So how do we access that flow? Well, when we're born here, we have this flame of consciousness. This is the pure love of our soul here. What we do is we create this ego onion, this ego construct here. If you guys want to ask any questions along the way, just Facebook message, just sort of message me here, okay, on the chat, or just put the microphone on and just talk to me, or put on the video as well if you're out for that. So basically, we need to peel our ego onion in the right order, because our higher self built our ego to create this filter. So we have all these experiences, what I've just been describing. And the idea is to peel the ego so you get back to the raw flame of consciousness, the pure love that you actually are. And when that can express through you, your human personality, and your ego is much clearer, okay, you get the life you really desire. Life really flows and opens. That's the key to it. So you've got to do the work. There's no quick fix. And no matter what any North American website page will tell you, that if you pay this amount now, you're going to be all fixed by the end of the week. It doesn't happen that way. So you've actually got to go and do the work, because the human ego takes quite a long time to dismantle. So you get back to consciousness, back to the light. So what you're actually doing is here is we're taking a look at all the mud in our life, at all the stuff that we don't like, and we're we're moving away from the Judeo-Christian good and evil polarity consciousness to more of a Buddhist model when we do divine healing, where we look at this emotional separation, this darkness, this shadow, which creates the stuff we don't like, as part of the one. And by bringing consciousness to it, we create lotuses, we create beautiful things in our life out of that. Okay, and we're feeding the lotus with the separation by bringing consciousness. So you're going to grow lotuses here. So let's see where we are. Okay, how do we get here and where are we going? So why do we need divine healing? Well, what happened was that Source, all that is, Great Spirit, what it did is it wanted to expand its consciousness. And so it did that by having an out-breath of itself. And so it expanded its consciousness. We use a 12-dimensional model here. This is the 12th dimension of Source. And it basically densified its energies progressively through the dimensions down to this 3rd dimension. This is pure spirit. We're in this 3rd dimension, in this densified, seemingly physical body, which is densified light. And so as our consciousness moved away from Source, we actually forgot that's where we come from. So we landed in our hair on our bodies when we're born thinking, this is all there is. But we always have a sense that something's not quite right, that something's missing, and it's a bit isolating down here. It's because we forgot this is where we came from. And so we went unconscious, and then we formed our ego construct around us here that creates a sense that we're separate from all that is, or God in the spiritual sense. And there's also a band of frequencies in the astral plane. This is the place you go when your physical body dies. You go through the tunnel of light, as you see in the Hollywood movies. And there's a band of astral energies and beings which prevents us from breaking through to higher consciousness, which we will work with later. So divine healing is about clearing your ego onion here and breaking through this blockage. So in consciousness, you get back to Source. And that's called ascension. That's the way home. Okay, because while Source has an out-breath, it also has an in-breath, and enough of it's learnt enough, because basically each of us is a spark of the divine embodied. We've initially forgot who we were, wanting to be as separate from Source, all that is, as much as possible, and then through the process of ascension, progressively make our way in consciousness back up to Source. And divine healing accelerates that process. Because when you connect to Source and it comes through you, life opens and flows in a completely different way. So what happens here? When you separate from Source, as I showed you in the last diagram, 3 things happen. The first thing that happens is that you feel abandoned by God at an ego level. This is a deeply pre-verbal thing, okay? And then the other thing that happens is that we feel unworthy to be loved by God, because we feel God kicked us out of heaven, must have done something wrong. We don't feel worthy of God's love. And then we go, well, I don't trust this God because I'm not in heaven anymore. So these are the 3 primary ego programs that all humans are built from, or some variation on this. So if you can heal these within yourself, you'll become enlightened. You become very, very conscious because you have a sense of oneness with all that is. And tonight we're actually going to work on this program here, Abandonment by God. Okay. So what happens, let's have a little drink here, when we become aware of our low frequency programs like abandonment? What does the ego actually do? Well, it's not particularly interested in feeling the pain of that program, so it goes into avoidance. I'm just going to clear my throat. And so this is what most people do. They go into avoidance. So they numb out, watch too much Netflix, addictions, all sorts of unconscious behaviors, so they don't feel what's going on. And those of us on the spiritual path, okay, you'll be aware that yes, we have programming, but we're not so keen on it. Then can go and judge it and feel bad about it, which is what a lot of people do. But when you judge a program, Marilyn, I should meet you because of the parrots in the background. So they judge it and feel bad about it, and that judgment and feeling bad just locks the program in even more, makes it tougher to move. But there's a third way here, which is this one. If you can resonate and own each layer of that ego onion, each layer of the programming coming off, bring feeling consciousness to it in your body, and connect with the origin of the program, target where it comes from, you can transform that layer of the ego onion. Okay, you can become free of that layer of the program, which is what divine healing is about. So here's how you do it. So what is required for healing? First, it requires a desire and courage to transform yourself, which I feel you all have because you've turned up tonight. So what it is about bringing consciousness here. Feeling consciousness, because what you can feel, you can heal. This is a fundamental principle of divine healing. This is not about thinking about and figuring out the problem, which is what we Westerners usually tend to do initially, because we're taught to be very much in our left Cartesian scientific mind, left brain side of ourselves. It doesn't work at all. It may give you a bit of understanding, but actually, if you can feel and identify the issue you're facing and bringing feeling consciousness to it, which is this little bit here, then the issue starts to dissolve. Again, the ego not so keen on that idea. So what it does, because it wants to keep your programs in place, keep you in a sense of separation and consciousness from all it is. It goes and puts this stuff here, this turquoise ice, emotional ice, to numb you out, so you cannot get to the issue. Therefore, the issue stays frustration all around. Because the ego is terrified of being dissolved. It's terrified of its own death, because it feels it will be annihilated. And it's from its level of consciousness, but actually it will just be reabsorbed into all it is. So how do we break through this here? What do we do to get to the issue? Well, what happens here is this. When you work with divine healing, either individually or in a group, which is what we're going to do tonight, or in a training, which is again another group, what happens is that we have means of breaking through. Divine healing gives a clear structure for actually accessing to feel the issue and breaking through the emotional ice. And as spirit starts to move this energy, grace descends. And this energy is like a dispensation from higher consciousness. And it helps us release the program. Something needs to go in shifts. And then we need to help integrate it. So that's the core principle of what we're doing with divine healing. But we're using the higher self to guide us through this process of breaking through layers of programming as the time is right. Because our higher self knows the right order to break through the programs, because it actually created us the way we are. So how do we do that? How do we get into our flow? So I'm going to give you a broad picture of how to get into the flow in your life. Okay, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how we're built. There's two parts of us. There's the higher self, which is permanent, and the impermanent personality. That's you and me in this dimension, in our physical bodies, with our mental, emotional, and energy bodies and physical body. The mental body is the linear ego mind, and it's full of emotional separation programming here, which keeps us unconscious, keeps us occupied a lot of the time. So this is us struggling away, trying to make a life down here, trying to get things to go, to actually work for a change. And we are connected through what's called an antakarana. This is an Indian model from the Vedas. And this basically is a connection to higher self. And the higher self, which is permanent, which vibrates at a much higher consciousness level, higher frequency, is made up of three components the atomic body or God self, the Buddhic body or the higher emotional body, the non-linear mind, which just knows things. It's like Mozart downloading his symphonies at the age of 7 in completeness. And so to get into the flow, we need to open up this antakarana and access this. Because when you can access that, your life will really open and flow. You cannot make your life flow from this, because this is full of emotional separation. This is a projection in consciousness of that. So the way to create flow is to bring more of this through here into your life, higher consciousness, because it views things quite differently than we do in this reality. So if we apply divine healing, the higher self will start to dissolve all these little bubbles here, these issues, thousands of them in our system. What then starts to happen is this. You start to get a widening of the antakarana, because your frequency has risen, you've moved up the scale, and then you start to get more higher consciousness coming in, plus lots more unconditional love starts to come in. You start to get the flow of higher self, and that's when your life starts to change. Because when you bring unconditional love into the human ego, all the programs start to unlock, because the higher self just loves everything exactly as it is. It doesn't judge it like our ego does. And then the programs can start to let go. So, if you keep doing that, keep clearing your ego with divine healing, more love comes through, more flow comes through. And it flows it's not just money, it's actually the flow of love, relationships, opportunities, all sorts of lovely things, grace, joy in life. And by the time you start doing this, some of this flow is coming through and it's starting to play out in your life like this, and some good things are starting to turn up. You might have had a string of bad relationships because you had a bad relationship with your parents, and then better relationships start to turn up, more conscious ones, and you're thinking, God, life does work for a change after all that struggle. And if you keep clearing the lower self, you get this. This is enlightenment. It's where you have dissolved the ego. And that's actually, if you do enough divine healing, that's what will happen. It takes a long time to get enlightened, but get as close as you can. Once the antakarana is at maximum opening, the ego has surrendered. It no longer has its attachments, no longer has its endless desires. You can sort of notice you satisfy one desire, another one comes up, and it starts to surrender. And there's this flow of unconditional love comes through, is enormous. And much more flow comes into life here. And so this is where life is quite different. You're no longer trapped in the matrix, like the majority of people, just going through the motions, just getting through life as best you can. You're actually creating a different life, a different reality for yourself. You're living in a different world. Okay, because you're no longer at the mercy of the reality, you're actually changing it from within yourself. What happens is this. Your ego surrenders here. And it is at the service of the higher self, the atomic, Buddhic, and nonlinear minds. And this flow really comes through the ego into this third dimensional reality from the high dimensions. And really interesting things, good things start to turn up. And that's been my experience. I used to be very isolated, and once I started working myself since 2006 with this, lots of good people and opportunities and started coming my way because this was flowing. Okay, but you need to do the work to actually get there. So a little bit more what's happening here. So let's step back a little bit. When they're done with the explanation, and we're going to go and do this for real, is that most of us, initially when we are on the spiritual path, we are, someone else has just joined us. So, yeah, so Mark's just joined us, so welcome, Mark. If you want to speak at any time, you're still joining us here. Yep, we are. So initially we are, yeah. So welcome, Mark. So initially, if we're going from the small limited ego here, what happens is that it's trying to use the left brain, trying to figure this life out. You know, we analyze and figure things out in the West. And so it's following the path of the ego, the path of suffering, the dotted line here, which doesn't get us too far. You know, for example, a lot of people, if you're living a more conventional life in the West, a 3D life, they're brainwashed to try and climb up the salt mountain of the corporate world. They get to the top and discover it's pretty unpleasant up there. I discovered that 20 years ago, and I left. And so the idea of divine healing is to clear the ego so your consciousness expands here. So from the higher consciousness level, from the vast consciousness of spirit, you're shifting this way to following what we call the spiritual signature. And the spiritual signature is basically quite simple. In each moment, there's one right action to take. And that right action opens your heart. And your soul communicates through feeling in your body. And if you open your heart to the desires of the soul, gradually over time you practice doing that by healing yourself, by healing the heart wounds and dissolving the mind's immense control it has over us. You start to slowly converge on the spiritual signature, this line here. And as you start to do it, as you converge more and more, life starts to open and flow. Because if you followed your heart in each moment, did what was right, the right action, life would unfold in amazing ways, in ways you cannot imagine. And it's not something the mind can never work out. It'll try really hard. Okay, and that letting go of the attachment to what you think you should do, to what you feel you should do in each moment, is how you get in the flow here. Because the pathway of spirit is not a straight line, not linear. It doesn't go like this. It goes it's very curved. And this is actually the flow I'm talking about, getting into the flow. But you have to have cleared enough. You have to have cleared enough of what's in the ego here to actually allow this flow to come through so you can feel it and trust it. And when you can feel and trust that flow and do this, you're not worried about what's going to happen next. You're not attached to anything after a while. You're just enjoying the right in the now moment of what happens. And so, because the mind spends so much time worrying about all that's happened in the past, therefore I'm going to stop trying to control things so it doesn't happen in the future. If you heal that, and in the moment, wonderful things will open to you because you've stepped out of your own way. So, why is everyone so tired normally? Here's why. It's because if they haven't healed their emotional blockages like abandonment, which is what we're working on today, what you're doing is you're actually, these blockages steal your life force because our ego steals our flow of energy, life energy, the blue stuff, uses to lock down our emotional blockages. So you only have a little bit of life force flowing to get on with life. And so divine healing, basically what it does is it takes these guys out, it dissolves them by bringing consciousness to them. And if you dissolve them, what happens is that you free up life force. And life becomes more joyful, expansive, and good things happen as a result. So any questions on that so far? We have a direct experience of it. If you want to speak, just message me or just turn your microphone on. We'll go the whole way, turn the video on. Entirely up to you. It's on the bottom left. Any questions on what I just talked about, the overall structure? No, it's clear to everybody? Okay, so let's have a direct experience then. So what I want you to do is take your shoes off and place your feet flat on the ground so they're very grounded, and we're going to go through and have a little experience of this. Okay? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to clear the energy interference I talked about earlier around us, because that prevents us connecting to higher self. We're going to clear a whole bunch of these guys which are in your energy fields and in your body. I'm going to clear a whole bunch of that out. So what I'd like you to do is just feel in your body how you are now, and see how you are once we've done this first chart in Divine Healing. So you see in Divine Healing we have this is Divine Healing Level 1 manual here. And this is Divine Healing here. So what we're going to do is that in Divine Healing we have 26 charts, each manual. And you learn how to do all these charts in the workshop. And what we're going to do is that we're going to do this chart here called Interferences and Blocks from Outside Influences. And that'll help you feel a lot clearer for the next phases of the healing we're going to do. Okay? So I want you to close your eyes. Okay? I've opened the Divine Healing energy space here. Sorry, someone else is recording. And I'm going to quietly clear a lot of energy interference in this. All right? So the first interferences we're going to clear are what we call earthbound souls. Okay, so I want you just to breathe through your mouth and feel this. And you may feel sensations in your body. You may literally feel things coming out your body. That's fine. Or maybe quite gentle or somewhere in between. So I'll be doing this quietly. So I want you to feel a shift here. Okay, I want you to feel the energy shift now. We're going to shift the next level of being of interferences, okay? Okay, feel the energy shift. Feel gratitude for that shift. Now we're going to release more of the interference energies. These are more discards and entities and attachments. More astral life is going to leave. So here we go. Feel the energy shift. And just say thank you. Gratitude is really important in divine healing because what it does is it basically opens you up to source. And when it does that, it bypasses the ego, which is trying to keep source away from it because it's regarded as dangerous. And that source gives you grace, which opens life up. And they're raising your body vibrations so that these energies can't come back to you that have been interfering with you. Okay, so that's the energy interference cleared. So who would like to share how that was? This is just so you can just affirm what's happening. It also helps the people watching the video later and seeing what's going on. So just switch on your microphone or just put it on the chat and just let me know how that is. Marilyn, you want to share how that was? So you're one of the brave ones who's...
Yeah, I felt a little bit of swirling inside and a bit of relaxation and a bit of feeling lighter, you know, very, very gentle.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Irene, how was that for you?
I didn't feel it. I haven't felt any change.
Okay, that's okay.
But I don't know why. Yeah. If it, you know, if it's still working, but I don't actually perceive.
Well, yeah, it is working. Sometimes, though, if you've been through a lot of difficult things in life, you can actually not feel things even though they have been happening. We can numb out in our bodies. I mean, most people are very numbed out, actually, because of the trauma of life. That's okay. Yeah. Okay. Shafali, thanks for sharing, Shafali. She said, I felt butterflies in my stomach and I feel much lighter now. Thank you for that. I'd welcome anyone else who wants to share, even if it's just on the chat. I'll just read it out because I'd just like to see how you're doing because it helps. Gives me a bit of feedback so I can see how to direct the energy for the next part of the work. Chat's at the bottom. It's just a little balloon there. Just click on it and just send it to everybody. No one else? No other takers? Okay, let's move to the next phase then. So thank you everyone who shared so far. So we're going to move to what are called main low frequency programs in divine healing. And these programs here, we're going to go to page 55, which I'll show you here. Manual. These programs here are experiences we're going through, okay? And you can see there's quite a list. And the way we do a thing called number mapping in divine healing to find which one it is. You may just feel your program or you may want a number map for it. Oh yeah, Terry says, I felt a gush of emotions and heart-melting gratitude. Thanks, Terry. So you can see here there's the different states of being, really. You might feel frustrated, fearful, or judgmental. So if you can just feel the program, then we can just clear it. But if you know you're feeling a bit funny or something's not quite right, this is a good chart to go to. And then what you do is you pick a number 1 to 21. Say we got a 2, number 1 to 8, so you got a 5. It'd be a thing called brain damage, and you realise, actually, I did have a car accident a couple of months ago, so maybe my brain is damaged. So you actually get into the program that's running here. So what we're going to do here is that I'm going to scroll through this page, and one of these main low frequency programs is going to jump out at you. It's like it'll literally jump off the page as you look at it on the screen. And when you see that, I want you to write it down, okay? Because that's the program you need to work with. All right? Okay. So let's go through slowly. I'll go backwards and forwards a couple of times, okay, until you get it. Okay. So let's go back the other way. Okay. Okay. Do one more. And if you can just feel how you're feeling anyway, just write that down. Okay, because that'll be your main frequency program. This chart to help you identify something you can't quite put your finger on. Okay, last sweep now. Okay. So with divine healing, what we do is that we have instructions here for actually bringing consciousness to the program. So what I'd like you to do is that just feel, when we discuss it, but there's too many of you, is just feel how does that program that you've identified that you wrote down operate in your life without going into a big story that ego talks about. Okay? I just, you know, I want you to come up with the data and just feel that program, because most of the time, breathe through your mouth into the program, because most of us breathe through our nose, so we stay in our mind trying to figure it all out. Which only gets us about halfway there. We want to go the whole way, right, to what's actually going on. Just feel that program. So what you're doing here is you're bringing consciousness to the program. You're doing this. You are doing that by following the instructions on that chart. All the charts are designed to help you break through. You're bringing this into here to feel it. Divine healing is a process of feeling and consciousness. It's not about trying to work it out here. Okay. Let's do that for another minute or two. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to find out, well, when did this thing start? So we get to this chart called O, which is original time. Okay, so we go to this chart here. And this is the original time when programs were established. All right, so don't worry about what it all means at this stage. There's not enough time to explain it. But when you actually get to what I want you to look down this page here and pick up the one that jumps out at you the most. If it's in utero, for example, then you pick a number between 1 and 42, say 23. That means 23 weeks in utero, this program started. This one here, age of cause. Say you're 55 and you pick a number between 1 and 55, so you've got 2 years old to when the program happened as well. Okay. So just write down whatever you come up with. The first one you get will be the right one. And by targeting the origin of the program, you just brought consciousness to it again, even more so. You've gone deeper into this process here. You see this program here in the womb, 23 weeks. And therefore, because that timing is very accurate, you can take the program out much more deeply out of the ego. Because it spends its entire time trying to stop you doing anything like that. Okay, so now we go back to the, hope everyone's got that. Go back to the main low frequency program chart here. So what you've done so far is you have found out how it operates, felt it, found where it comes from. Normally in a divine healing session we do other charts, but we're not going to do that here because there's not time. So just open by keeping your eyes closed and breathing through your mouth. Open to all aspects of the feeling of this program. Again, you're bringing more consciousness to it. Very important to keep your eyes closed because it shuts the mental body off. So you move into more feeling, right brain state. Become aware of any attachment the ego may have to it because it wants to hold on to the program to protect something else even deeper in your system. You have to understand it, you just got to feel it. It can be a little slippery, that one. Become aware of any feelings of being bad for having this program. Ego's always feeling bad about itself. Becoming aware of any judgment your ego has of it. That's a tricky one sometimes. Most of the time we're thinking, I shouldn't have that program, I should be more evolved, I should be more conscious. That's a judgment. And the more you can open to it in consciousness and feeling level, the more you can integrate and heal the program. Okay, so now we're going to clear this program. We're going to work with Saint Germain and Ascended Master here. to burn the program out. Okay, so we're going to say each one of, actually we're going to say this together. So everyone can turn on their microphones. It's more powerful if we do it together as a group clearing. So just switch your microphone on the bottom, on the left, so we can hear each other. If you're up for that, okay. On the bottom left, yeah. And then what happens here is that as we say each one, we pause and allow that particular level of the command code to trigger, and then it'll feel like your energy's busy for a while, sort of buzzy. And then it'll sort of settle down. Then we'll do the next one, okay? So I'm going to say this to you in bite-sized chunks, okay? All right. So, repeat after me. We ask Saint Germain.
We ask Saint Germain
To pour the purple flame.
to pour the purple flame
Through the aura and subtle bodies.
through the aura and subtle bodies.
To burn away all low-frequency energies.
To burn away all low-frequency energies
That we have discovered.
that we have discovered,
So that new higher-level vibrations
so that new higher-level vibrations
can be accessed,
can be accessed,
accepted,
accepted,
and encoded.
and encoded.
Okay, so you've set the condition of what you're going to do. So you sort of let that energy set itself in place. And then that's done. So now we say this, Saint Germain and higher self.
Saint Germain and higher self,
Please burn out in one go.
please burn out in one go
100% the core issue
100% core issue
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels and dimensions.
Pause there, let that, it's sort of busy at the moment. You might feel your body move around. Okay, it's done. You say 100% the original cause
100% the original cause
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels and dimensions.
100% the source of its power
100% the source of its power
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels and dimensions.
Allow that to pause there to allow that to happen. Ooh, my head's shaking on that one. Okay, it's done. 100% all energy attached
100% all energy attached
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels and dimensions.
Let that do its thing. My vision's getting clearer now. 100% all of its effects
100% all of its effects
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels and dimensions.
Okay, let that shift. Express gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let that settle. Just feel the shift. So who would like to share how that was, either on the chat or switch your microphone on, just let us know how that was. Marilyn, how was that?
I think there's a bit of churning going on, and I think that released some of it a bit easier now. You know, I was dealing with it with, you know, one that I was surprised of, but I went with the first one. I put down sort of, you know, working on 5 different things, but I just went with the first one and trusted that that would be one to work with and to clear that. So it feels a little cleared, and it feels a little, you know, happier and easier.
Okay, good.
You know, it is a very gentle approach, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Anyone else want to share how that was, either on the chat or just talking to us? It's okay. Right. So, last chance to share. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. So, what we're going to do now is that we're going to move to past lives. So, a lot of what we process comes from past lives here. And especially past life deaths, often we'll die the same way a lot of times. Just have that experience. And these traumatic deaths have a big impact on how we are now. Okay, so if we clear them, a lot of things that keep repeating themselves stop happening because we're no longer playing that out. So what I want you to do is have your pen and paper. I want you to look, I'm going to scroll through this up and down like I did last time. And one of these is going to be really strong for you, okay? All right? I got frozen to death. I've had that quite a few times. This will come up for me now. And just take a look at the one that jumps out at you. And you might not like it, but it might actually explain a lot of what's been going on for you. Okay? All right, so we'll just go up and down a little bit a few times. Okay. So now I want you to keep your eyes closed, close your eyes, and just another will drop on your head, and that'll be the number of how many lifetimes it's happened. I died 7 times frozen to death. Okay. So to see how many times you got, and write that down as well. Because what you're doing is you're targeting. So 7 times I died by freezing to death. So the higher self is going to go and target that and clear it. Okay. I'll have another drink while you do that. Okay, so now this is the healing command code for clearing these past life deaths. So I'd like you to switch your microphones on, those of you who are game enough to do that, because we're going to do this together. Because you put the information in there, and we'll say this all together, okay? So, let me get my pen back here. So in bite-sized chunks, say higher self.
Higher self.
Please clear, heal, and integrate.
Please clear, heal, and integrate
All these files and memories,
all these files and memories,
including all cellular memories,
Including
all cellular memories,
the DNA,
the DNA,
and the subatomic levels.
and the subatomic level.
I'm now ready to heal
I am now ready to heal
all traumatic deaths
all traumatic deaths
at all levels and dimensions,
at all levels and dimensions,
all time frames,
all time frames,
realities, and universes.
reality, and universes.
Okay, so we just pause there. It's going through the Akashic records, it's going through the past life files, and even cleaning it all out now. You might shiver, you might go a bit cold. Okay, you may feel stuff coming out of you, your body, out of your fields. Then we say, I command that any soul fragments
I command that any soul fragments
held with these memories
held with these memories
are now returned to me,
are now returned to me,
fully whole and intact,
fully whole and intact,
as appropriate.
as appropriate.
I welcome these soul fragments back.
I welcome these soul fragments back.
We pause there to let that happen. Always pause in divine healing to let something complete. Okay, that's done. I command
I command
that the whole holographic matrix
that the whole holographic matrix
be repaired through all levels and through all layers and levels,
Be repaired through all layers and levels,
and then brought into full alignment,
and then brought into full alignment,
integration and balance,
integration and balance,
to allow for wholeness to emerge.
To
to allow for wholeness to emerge.
Holographic matrix is your entire reality, you, your physical body, and the reality around you. That's your holographic matrix that you're creating in each moment with these programs, most of them unconscious. So just embrace, just feel this energy shifting. And everyone say thank you, more gratitude.
Thank you.
Then just embrace the shift that's happening, okay? And you can repeat this while watching the YouTube video. If you do this again, pick a different past life that comes up. Same for the magnetic frequency chart. You'll get a different layer of the healing. So a lot of people use the videos many times for self-healing. Okay. Would anyone like to share how that was, how that one felt? On the chat or just by speaking? Marilyn, how was that?
It was an interesting sort of feeling on my left side, that it's sort of like swirling to the right.
Yeah.
That was a very clear feeling.
Yeah.
It was different.
Okay. Irene, did you feel anything there with that past life clearing?
I probably don't do it right. I don't know.
What was your past life that you cleared there?
My past life, I think it was murder. I was killed because I wasn't entitled, but I don't know which one was it. I think a murder.
Yeah. Okay. You know what?
I didn't.
Okay. Does anyone else want to share their past life? Jill, do you want to share your past life?
Yeah, I think I was an hour late, sorry.
That's okay.
I think the main one for me I chose was, out of the few that came up, was heart failure. I think I got 9 times or more. So.
That's not so good. Yeah.
So I just felt energy shifts. And
okay.
Kind of mostly the center, a little bit in my heart and my solar plexus.
Does anyone else want to share their past life? You can just put it on the chat if you want. Or just turn the microphone and speak if you feel up to it. Everyone's okay with that? I don't believe that. Okay. So we're going to do one more chart to help integrate it. So when you do all these deep healing charts, we then do integration charts. So we're going to go to what's called a nutrition chart. Hi, Jill. Good to see you.
Hi.
So are you still in Michigan?
Minnesota.
Minnesota, sorry. Okay. All right. So this is nutrition chart and divine healing. And this is energetic nutrition. Okay. So it contains the energy which will be contained in the physical nutrition. And we often put these pure frequencies into us during divine healing to actually help integrate just what we've done. Because as you start to dismantle the ego layer by layer, it's a bit destabilizing sometimes. So sometimes we need to put something in just to help integrate the shift we've been through, because the ego is not so keen on change. So what I want you to do is I'm going to scroll through this like we did before. I want you to pick off the one, like there's amino acids, essential fatty acids, and we have minerals and vitamins. Pick off the one that's running strongest for you, okay? You don't have to understand what it means or how to even pronounce them. It'll still work, okay? All right. So I'm going to scroll through slow, so write that down. I'll go up and down a couple of times so you got it. Okay, so if you're up for it, just switch on your microphones and we're going to do this command code together. The more you guys speak, the stronger the effect as a group. So we're doing this as a group, actually. Yeah. All right. Repeat after me. Higher self.
Higher self.
Please encode these nutrients.
Please encode these nutrients
In the perfect balance
in the
perfect balance
that is required.
that is required.
And clear and align all pathways
and clear and align all pathways
for maximum assimilation,
for maximum assimilation,
absorption, and utilization. Okay, so you're going to feel the frequency go into your body. I'm sure shivering a bit here. Just feel the shift. If you want to yawn, it's okay. I already want to yawn. That's letting go negative energy. Some people burp, so whatever works for you. So it's made that shift. You might feel a little tired after that because the body's letting go holding patterns. Then we go, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So now we've integrated the main low frequency program and past life clearing that we just did there, okay? All right. So we're going to stop sharing the screen now. So just want to hear how you guys feel after that compared to when you started. Okay. You're actually in the healing circuit from the beginning, Jill. I set the energy before the workshop. Before the webinar.
That explains it.
Yeah, so stuff would have happened.
I felt it, yeah.
Even if you joined later, because you were in the loop. So
I felt it was right when I joined.
Yeah. So how do you feel now, Joel?
Good. That last thing, I did feel sort of like an infusion or something. I kind of yawned and.
Okay. Irene, how do you feel? Thanks, Joel.
I feel okay.
Okay, thank you. Marilyn?
Yeah, I think I noticed a funny taste in my mouth.
That'll be a detox. Something's coming out your body.
Yeah, and a little bit of stomach, you know, if I'm searching for something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I was working with proline, and I don't know what proline is or what that means, but that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it down.
Okay.
That's just.
Thank you. Anyone else want to share on the chat or just with voice? Okay, everyone's still a little shy, but thank you for everyone who's actually mics on and spoke up during the command code. We appreciate it. Okay. See how you integrate that. It might take a few days to integrate what we've just done. So you should drink lots of water, everybody. Filtered water, okay, not out of the tap. Or bottled water, and have some Epsom salt bars. The detox, quite a lot of detox happens with this process, okay? So I'm going to talk a bit more about divine healing now. How you can learn how to do this yourself. Well, are there any other questions? Anyone got any other questions about divine healing before we? You can put it on the chat if you want.
For example, can I ask you something? If you don't pick up the right number or the right, thing, what do you have to do? Go through all of them to get it right?
Well, what we do in divine healing is we teach you how to tune into the right thing with number mapping. Where we basically we work with you. We open your channel up, and we do a lot of the interference clearing. And what happens then is that the higher self will just tell you the right number. It's quite straightforward. And then everyone gets it, and then you are doing the right thing. So, okay, so it's pretty straightforward. So you don't have to try all the numbers. So you don't have time to try all the numbers. So, okay. Let's see what else. Any other questions, anybody? This is the time to ask them. So, okay. All right, so how can you actually get more of this? Let me talk about that a little bit to finish off here. So there's two ways to, I'm just going to mute you already, we're getting a lot of background noise there. So there's two ways to receive divine healing to get into the flow of your life, okay? To peel your onions so that the, you can actually do this. You can do that. You can bring through this flow of your higher consciousness to create that flow in your life. And the first one is that you can do private sessions here, which you can find at freeupyourlifewithdivinehealing.com. They're available in person or online with me. Or a much more cost-effective way is actually to come on the training where you learn to do it yourself. Next one is 8th to the 11th of June 2018 in Surrey, England, plus on Zoom like this. Most people come on Zoom and we time it. So it's 12:30 to 8:30 UK time, 7:30 in the morning to 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, 4:30 to 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, and then 1:30 to 9:30 European time. So we try and cover from California out to the Eastern Bloc, which is where most students are. And that's $225 approximately, depending on the exchange rate, or £166 deposit. And the full fee is $670 US dollars, or 490 UK pounds. And it's a pretty good deal because it's equivalent to about 5.5 hours of private sessions, which is basically not quite 3 sessions with me. And you can take away this tool, which will clear 80% of your issues yourself. And the other 20% are things which are core ego programs, which needs an experienced therapist to actually hold space. But basically, you become very self-empowered to clear the blockages to getting into your flow. And you can learn that in 4 days. With a bit of practice, you're underway, really. And you can find out more about that at thedivinehealingtraining.com. So that's actually how you can do that. And it's something you have for life, for working on yourself. And if you're a practitioner or want to become one, you can then work on others. And once people get the feel of how this works, they just come back for more. So this is very powerful. So are there any other remaining questions or messages on the chat, which I'll share about the divine healing process? No? Okay. Right, so I want to thank you all for coming and engaging, and hope you got something from it. And I will send out the video in a couple of days once it's all rendered, and you can have a play with it again, because you'll get the same transmission again from just by watching it again. Alrighty. So thank you for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Jill, Marilyn, and Irene especially. So, okay. All right.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Nicolas.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. See you later.